Kyle Cairns here, reporting for Channel 2 News. Cyanide outbreak in the Utica area has killed 15,000 and counting. 3 experts have been called in. Here's what they have to say. I'm here with Dr. Dr. B. Dr. B, tell us a little bit something about yourself.
Well, I graduated in ASU and got my PhD in 2011. I actually teach here at Utica College. I'm an associate professor of chemistry.
Wow, it makes sense why they called you in. Alright, so how do we get poisoned by cyanide? What do people should be looking out for?
Well, oftentimes cyanide poisoning can be intentional and unintentional. It's present in small quantities in tobacco smoke and exhaust fumes. It can also be formed when acrylic polymers and household fabrics are burned. Smoke from house fires can also lead to cyanide poisoning. It's present in nature often. Apple seeds actually contain 200 milligrams of amygdalin. And amygdalin is a glycoside that contains a cyanide group in its molecular structure. Common disease in Africa from cyanide poisoning is kanzo. Kanzo is developed from eating too much cassava, an African fruit. Causes cyanide poisoning. Symptoms of kanzo include paralysis of the legs, difficulty speaking, dizziness, headaches, and vomiting. Cyanide was often used in World War II by the Germans as an active agent in Zyklon B, a very popular chemical warfare agent.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. B. So you're a neuroscientist. Why did they call you in for this? Dr. Bonk here, neuroscientist from Harvard University, has been called in to give us some light on the cyanide situation. Dr. Bonk, what are some mechanisms of action of cyanide?
Right, good question. Well, first of all, the cyanide anion will bind to our cytochrome oxidase enzyme, which is in our mitochondria, and basically that prevents us from oxidizing our glucose, essentially the last step to making ATP or energy in our bodies.
Very, very interesting. So a lot of people are very scared because 15,000 have died already.
Right.
What are some fatal amounts of cyanide? Like when should the people go get help?
Also a good question.
Ingest or anything?
Cyanide poisoning can be fatal at 50 milligrams. That's basically about the size of your average Advil. Those little round ones you get.
Oh, wow, that's not a lot at all. So when cyanide is ingested, what happens? What does it do to the body?
Right. Well, basically, hydrogen cyanide is the deadliest, which is a gas, but we've seen more poisoning from ingestion through inhalation, usually smoke of house fires, or sometimes even small traces of tobacco.
Very interesting. Thank you, Dr. Bonk. I'm here with Dr. Ashley Miller, a botanist from Columbia University. Dr. Miller, what are some of the methods of detection for cyanide?
In the 80s, they used visual inspection. Tablets were investigated via microscope where one would be able to distinguish the crystals of sodium cyanide from crystals of paracetamol. This information could be used to determine how much cyanide was present in marketed medicine capsules.
Very interesting. Are there any new methods to detecting cyanide?
They have moved on to using atomic spectroscopy and further on to forensic chemistry labs used by the FDA. They have 30 chemists which examine the possibility of tampered food and medicine. Methods of isolation include thin layer, gas, liquid, and ion chromatography, capillary electrophoresis, mass atomic infrared spectroscopy. Electron microscopes can identify different and very minute particles. The FDA can now trace cyanide by identifying other present elements, and cyanide is now much more revealing than back in the 80s.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it for yourself from 3 experts in the field. They told me to tell all you guys some of the cures for cyanide poisoning. 1. Injections of sodium nitrate and sodium thiosulfate. It acts as an antidote to cyanide poisoning. Also, hydroxycobalamin. It binds rapidly to a cyanide group and allows conversion of the latter to cyanobalamine for safe excretion. Another cure can be how do you say that?
Dimethylaminopheno.
Yeah, it's rapidly effective, but has a lower residual toxicity. Another cure is kelocyanur. It employs cobalt to pick up cyanide. One last thing, if dealing with hydrogen cyanide, please carry around amyl nitrate in case of an accident. This is Kyle Cairns, anchor for Channel 2 News, signing off.